If you do this submission in your gym, your coach might kick you out. But it's rad. He's in turtle. And this thing can happen from a bunch of different places. I play this position a little bit differently. Those of you that don't know, I created a martial art called Primal Combat, and it's absolutely savage. It's the most savage and realistic form of grappling, and it's way better than jiu-jitsu. Although it encompasses jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is included within it, but it is other stuff that jiu-jitsu has not thought of. Okay, so jiu-jitsu, they do this, right? They're like, yeah, backpack. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't good. This is good. Yeah, I'll still do this, but I don't do it all the time. A lot of the time when the person's in the turtle position, I like to do this. Okay, I like to sit on their back like that. And then I like to put my hands like this. Most of the time, once they figure it out, they're gonna stay turtled up, right? But there's a few things I can do here. A lot of times, people will try to grab both your ankles. When he grabs both your ankles, okay, you're gonna make a loop like this, okay? So you're gonna go gable grip around his neck, and you're gonna slide your hips up to the back of his head. Well, not back of his head, sorry. You slide your hips up near the back of his traps, okay? Behind his head. And now you're gonna push down with your hips, and you're gonna pull up with your arms. And there is a lot of force here, right? I'm essentially just gonna try to cut his head off, and the higher up my hip is, the better. So I'm here like this, okay? And then, boom, I sit. And now there's a few different reactions that he can have, but one that's been happening quite often is the person goes to try to grab both my ankles in order to like try to flip me backwards or something, okay? I'm gonna loop around their neck with a gable grip. Okay, I'm gonna slide my hips up as high as I can, and I'm gonna start pulling back, pushing down. Okay, so I'm making this shape, and his trachea and esophagus is right there. Okay, so this forearm is on one carotid, and this forearm is on the other carotid, like that, and then my hip. Dead! Okay, so I'm here. Okay, and boom, boom, and grab, and squeeze, dead. Bye-bye. Okay, I wasn't gonna show this because I'm a little bit strict with how much of my new stuff I release on YouTube. Those of you that are in my free community, you guys have seen this already in action. You see me hitting it on my guys and from the security camera footage, but I haven't really talked about this publicly, positionally, or anything. So this, just because I'm gonna compete, my guys compete, they're using my stuff, I'm using my stuff, I don't wanna show everybody everything I'm gonna do to them before I do it. But you can see a little bit. One of the positions I really like, probably the most disrespectful position that exists in MMA, is the chest sit, okay? And we set up this same choke in a slightly different variation from the chest sit. So just like a rear naked choke, we can do this choke, which is called the Axeya choke, A-X-E-Y-A. My daughter's name is Axeya. It's the Axeya choke. There's an Umoya choke as well for my other daughter. We'll see that another time, maybe. We can finish it belly up or belly down, just like, well, belly down, yeah. Just like the rear naked choke, right? So my opponent is in turtle, he's belly down. I finish just like I was showing, and then the next version is going to be the belly up version. And the setup is a little different. It doesn't come from the back sit, right? Person is turtle, you're sitting on their back sit, okay? Comes from the chest sit, okay? Person's on their back, you're sitting on their chest. Can you do that? Yeah, you can. Watch. If he's down on his back, yeah, this position is terrible. If he's down on his back like this, now, this is the mount, right? You guys all know this. This is the mount. I'm not doing the mount, right? I'm not sitting on his belly. I want to sit on his chest, okay? And I'm going to pull his head up off the ground. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Okay, so he wants to get under. A lot of the time they'll start trying to get under when you do this, right? Yeah, he wants to get under, and in order for him to get under, go ahead, try to get out, right? His head has to go to the ground for him to get under. So I'm pulling him up here and sitting up like that, okay, and pinning with my hip down. okay? And now from here, I go and I make my loop, okay? So I make that same loop that we were talking about before. Okay, so I'm pulling and then I loop. Now, a lot of the time my partner is gonna start trying to roll. Okay, so he's gonna start trying to go side to side, at which point, yeah, go ahead, just get right on your shoulder. Can you get on your shoulder? Yeah. I move with him, okay? And the more he twists, right, the easier my next movement becomes. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna do almost like a chair sit, and I'm gonna get behind him. And I'm gonna loop like this, okay? And now I've locked my legs in front of his chest. My hip is backstopping his head, and now I'm gonna pull inwards. Don't lift up. The grip is really built to lift up. You have to actively direct your arms in and thrust your hip forward, okay, for the finish. And now, the cool thing about these types of positions is they come from literally anywhere, right? Like, just do anything. Okay, see his arms are in? I don't care that his arms are in. He can have his frames, that's fine. I just want his head. And now from here, I make the loop and I start turning. Okay, now there's a lot of other setups that can happen here as well. There's a lot of other attacks I can go to, but for this specific one, I'm camping out on this spot until my opponent starts turning. And then as soon as they start turning, I'm gonna turn with them, okay? Backstop the head with my hip, and now I lock my legs over. Okay, and cut the head off, okay? Cut the head off. The cool thing about this choke is I'm not burning my arms out, right? I'm not in here like this, or like this, or like this, making this really short shape with my arms. I'm using a long shape with my arms, and I'm connecting my legs, okay? And then my whole posterior chain, right? Hamstrings, glute, low back, all working together to like rip their head off. Okay? Much more power than any type of rear naked. I'm not saying rear naked is a bad choke. Rear naked is a great choke, obviously. But this thing is absolutely nasty, and it feels terrible. Even being in that position feels terrible. Okay? The longer that you're in that chest sit position, your opponent is gonna start freaking out. Okay? Because it feels like, oh, I should be able to get out of here, but you can't. Or doesn't feel like you should be able to get out. You think you can get out because I'm making these big spaces under my legs, right? Why can't you just get your legs in there? Well, you could, but there's other attacks that can come off of those things as well, right? This is awesome for setting up arm bars, awesome for setting up triangles. And then if you start messing with this Axeya choke, you'll realize, like, damn, this is an awesome position to set up the Axeya choke. Now, if this stuff interests you, if Primal Combat interests you, like I said, I'm not gonna give away a lot of it on YouTube, but I do give away a lot of it in Fighters Heaven, which is the free community that I just created. And we've got quite a few members now, and it's just a place that we can all kind of grow together. I'll post different little training footages and different things that I'm thinking and working on. Different people can send me videos and like post videos and show your training and show problems that you're having, and other group members as well as me will try to help you solve them. So it's just like community of martial artists trying to grow and try to get better and conquer the world together. If that interests you, click the link. If you like Primal Combat, hit that like button and the subscribe. Peace.